I'm sure most people have heard about this by now, but Olivia Podmore very sadly passed away yesterday, who was a New Zealand Olympian, 24 years old. And whilst the family is being respectful and there is commentary going around about what sort of has happened, it would appear that there is an element of huge amounts of pressure that has been put on young people when it comes to performing in athletics and in general what happens and the worst of the worst where that could lead to. I guess I'm just saying, as a person who's been under that sort of pressure and gone through that, do you want to say anything or offer anything to the situation at the moment, to young people out there who are trying to get where you have got and facing this unsurmountable pressure or facing these issues in their lives that, can have very, 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 very tragic outcomes?
Yeah, I think that, when I heard that news, I was devastated, to be honest. Liv did a lot in the gym with me as well, and she's the most beautiful person. And it just really makes me sad to think that sport can have that kind of impact. I know, even my disappointments, I've been in some pretty low places. But I guess the message to any athlete is that sport is sport, and it's relationships and people and the support that you have around you. Oh gosh, we get calls every minute of every day. That really is what the sport is about. It's not about any medal really, and a medal or a result's not going to define who you are. It's such a tragedy, and my heart goes out to her family, and I just feel so sad that she obviously was, struggling so much.
Is there active support? And I don't want to speak to that situation because I don't know about it. None of us do. So I'm moving away from that specific example, but I wouldn't mind still asking you the question about support in general for athletes when it comes to things like pressure, when it comes to things like mental health. Is that something that's actively talked about, offered amongst the various agencies involved with the Olympics and the individual sports?
Yeah, we definitely have support around us. It's, I guess for me, it's as much about connecting with the right person that you feel comfortable with and being able to, offload and actually being in a position to be able to do that as well. I think that the key thing as well that some sporting organisations need to realise is that the words and the messages, I think you really need to think about the impact that they can have on an athlete. And, you don't know the state of mind of the individual that you're delivering a message to. And I think a lot of the time in high performance sport, we are treated differently because there is always someone else that's going to come up behind and take that spot. Whereas if you're in an organisation that, they kind of need to value their talent and nurture that, I think you are treated differently. So, there's definitely been times throughout my career where I've been really hurt by, what maybe selectors or high performance managers or various people have said to me. And, when I reflect on situations like this, I just think if I was in a headspace that was different, it could have had real impact. So I think there's definitely work to be done in that area. But in saying that, we've probably made huge progress in terms of the support we've been given in recent years.
Are you the kind of person that takes those words, whether it was criticism or just nastiness or just clunky, unthought about words that have been said to you, and use it as fuel? Do you kind of go, "Ha, I've got my Olympic medal now," and that proved them all wrong, or how does it last with you at all, those words? I mean, you're talking about it now, but obviously you weren't in a place at that time for it to, be the worst of the worst news headline. Is it fuel, or do you try and make it water off a duck's back so it doesn't impact you?
100% those times I've been impacted and could probably, list off the exact words and sentences they've said to me that have had impact in my career. So yeah, there's no denying that you take it a certain element to heart. I definitely have used it at times as fuel, but it also at times it's really made me doubt whether I am capable. And wow. I think, you need to be building athletes up. You need to be making them believe in what they can do, not cutting them down. And that's, I guess, the fine line in elite sport. You got to balance that out. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's a human at the end of every message that's been given. And I just think sometimes there's just obviously better ways of delivering tough messages.
And it's just, maybe if this is the Kiwiism again, maybe it's not. We lie to our kids by saying things like sticks and stones will, what is it? Sticks and stones will hurt me, but
break your bones.
But names will never. Yeah, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. The worst lie to tell any child on the face of the planet, because typically, not always, but if you break a bone, it can heal. But it's the words that stick in that are still there 5, 10, 15 years later. They can get in and stay a lot worse than a broken bone can. And I think if, as I say, I don't know whether that's a Kiwiism or it's said around the world, but it's a lie that we tell our kids that we as parents and stuff and as adults need to stop, because bones can heal easier sometimes than words that get into our hearts and into our psyche and into our spirit, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not just, I'm using it as in a sporting context, but like you say, in life in general, there's probably things that a young kid has a flippant remark that's stuck with them for a very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, words are very, very powerful.
Yep. And as you were talking about what people have been said to you, I was thinking, well, building up athletes, etc., is so true, but actually just building up people. Teachers building up their students, parents building up their kids, colleagues building up their colleagues. It's actually just a good rule for life, let alone a good rule for coaching.
Be kind, empower people. Yeah, make them believe that they're the bomb diggity.